What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video with me, the Angry Trainer. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an all shadow team that are running the Great League Remix for a couple of sets. I just threw this team together while we're in the early stages of the season, just for a laugh. And all the Pokemon I'm using have got really good IVs for the Great League, so I thought I'd just bundle them together. So the first thing we're using is the Shadow Ninetales on the lead with Fire Spin, Weather Ball and Overheat, and that is ranked 33 for the Great League. And then we're going to have Shadow Golbat on the swap, and this is ranked even better, it's rank 18. And that's going to have a Wing Attack, Poison Fang and Shadow Ball as usual. And then we're finally going to have the Shadow Politoed as the closer with Mud Shot, Weather Ball and Blizzard. We've not got Earthquake on there, but Blizzard does come in handy. And this one's ranked a little bit lower than the others, it's 293. And obviously, I do know this team is entirely weak to Unova Stunfisk. Every one of them is weak to Stunfisk. But it doesn't matter, we're just doing it for a laugh anyway, who cares? And we'll see, we do encounter the Stunfisk and we are able to pull out some wins. And some of these battles are really, really fun. So let's get into them. So into the first battle, Eludi1512 is the trainer that we have. And we've got Whiscash on the lead, so absolutely terrible for the Ninetales. We're going to go straight into the Golbat, and they come in with a Greedent. So not the worst swap in the world. We got a little bit of an energy advantage. Looks like they were a bit slow to swap. So we throw the first Poison Fang, and we're getting the debuff off on the Greedent. This thing is incredibly spammy and incredibly tanky. It is a little bit less tanky as we're in Great League. It's mainly getting all the bulk in the Ultra League. I've got an XL built for that, and it is pretty decent. So we're going for the second Poison Fang there. You can see that the Body Slam didn't even do half our health, so that's quite good. We will be able to survive another one, and that's because they've got Bullet Seed on the fast move. It's not doing any damage to us at all. We're flying and poison typing, we're double resisting the grass move, and it's a really weak damage move as well. So we managed to win the swap as they didn't use any of their shields, and they're coming back in with the Whiscash. We've got a lot of energy built up, so we're going to fake the Shadow Ball, but unfortunately they don't take the bait there, so we probably should have just gone for the Shadow Ball. And then they're going to throw a Mud Bomb. At least they're going to throw their energy, so that's really good for us. We come in now with the Politoed, and we should be able to do a lot of damage with the Weather Balls. So they're going to go for a Mud Bomb here. And it does about a third of the health, maybe a little bit under that, and they quickly make a swap into Golbat, so that's great. So we're going to go for the Weather Ball bait here, expecting that they will shield this up. They do shield it up, so that's really, really good. And now we come in with the Ninetales. So we're looking in a pretty good spot now, and we're going to let this first Poison Fang go through. We're thinking we probably can just close the game out with the Politoed if we need to, but our Weather Ball is going to do a lot of damage, so see if they want to shield this one up. They might let this go through. They do let it go through, and they're into the red now. So I think I was debating here whether we should shield this up, and we do actually let it go through. And we're going to come in with the Politoed and just go to Spam Town with the Weather Balls. And luckily the Golbat is pretty much taken out now, so that's fine because we've only got the Whiscash left, and they're not going to be doing a lot of fast move damage with the Mud Shots anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem with the little amount of health that we've got left on the Politoed. We'll go for the first Weather Ball. They do let it go through. They're going to have to shield this one up. And then luckily we do have another Weather Ball ready to go. So Politoed, very spammy and does a lot of damage. It's a really fun Pokemon to use, really recommend it. So we lost the switch in this battle, but we were able to pull it back. Shadow Golbat, very powerful on the swap, and into the next battle we go. So we're up against Noodler J. Let's see what we've got on the lead. We've got Raichu, so pretty neutral matchup here. We're going to be doing a lot of damage to each other with the fast moves, and we're probably just going to end up trading shields, I imagine, here. Most normal Raichus are running Brick Break and then either Thunder Punch or Wild Charge. So they go for the Thunder Punch and we shield it up, and then we get to our first Weather Ball, which we're going to throw, expecting they're definitely going to shield this one up. And they do throw up the shield, and we get to the second Weather Ball, and we're going to throw this one now straight away, see if they want to commit the second shield. They do commit the second shield, and then we're able to sneak in a Fire Spin there, so that's quite good. And I think we're going to shield it up now, thinking we can probably get to a Weather Ball because of that. So we get to the Weather Ball, but we actually CMP tire, so it was a bit of a bad play by me. The extra Fire Spin getting in there actually lulled me into a false sense of security, but luckily we are able to just come in with the Golbat, and we're taking out the Electric type, which is obviously counter to both the Golbat and the Politoed in the back, and they come in with a Hypno, so that's really questionable. So they must have something in the back that is weak to Golbat, because we're obviously going to devastate it with the Shadow Ball, absolutely annihilating the Hypno. The Hypno gets to a move, so it's going to be taking out the Golbat. It looks like we did actually try and swap there, and they throw a Psychic, which is really rare to see, and then they come in with Diggersby, so this is quite good for the Politoed, as we're going to be able to hit for super effective with the Water and the Ice moves, but they do get to an Earthquake, which is going to be doing a lot of damage. Luckily, Politoed is still pretty tanky, even though it's the Shadow version, so we go for the Weather Ball here, and I was a bit confused. This is the first time I'm using this. I didn't know whether to go for the Blizzard, and whether it be enough to KO or 2 Weather Balls, but 1 Weather Ball did so much damage that we're easily going to be able to take them out with the 2. We've got another Weather Ball stored just to make sure, just to take out the Hypno with a few HP left, and that was a really good battle. GG's to my opponent, and props for running Psychic. That's a bit of a random move, didn't expect that. Not that it mattered anyway, anything would have taken us out there. So moving on into the next one, and we've got a Whiscash on the lead, which is absolutely terrible for the NINETAILS. So we swap out into GOLBAT, and they're actually staying in here. So they're probably either going to go for a bait or just throw the Blizzard straight away. We go straight for the Shadow Ball, doing massive damage on the Whiscash. We want to just get some damage off on that thing while we can, in case they swap out and we end up losing Switch, and they still have that in the back for the NINETAILs. But they actually make a swap now into their GOLBAT after they baited us with the Mud Bomb, which was unfortunate for us. We're going to go for a Poison Fang bait here. See if they want to shield this one up. They do, so that's really, really good. And now they're going to throw a move, and seeing if we want to shield this up, we probably won't, but we actually do throw up a shield, and we get baited, so that's absolutely terrible. Building up to the Shadow Ball. We're going to go for this because we're thinking that they might actually just let this go, thinking we're going to bait them again, but they do shield it up as well, so making the wrong call all around there. Absolutely terrible play on my end, but sometimes you can't call all of everything. It's 50-50, isn't it? So you win some, you lose some. So we swap into the NINETAILs now, saving some energy and some health on the GOLBAT. So expecting the GOLBAT to throw a Shadow Ball. So doing quite a lot of damage, but this is fine. We're kind of just sacking the NINETAILs anyway. We knew that they had this Whiscash in the back. So this way we've actually used both the energy on the GOLBAT and on the Whiscash. And now we're going to be able to come in with one of our two Pokemon and just build up some energy. So we're coming in with the GOLBAT, and we've got some energy stored. So we're just going to get rid of this just so the Politoed can sweep, I think. So we don't hit any of the bubbles. And then they're going to come in with Greedent. So we're just able to get to the Poison Fang, just as we see before, where the fast moves are doing no damage to us at all with the Greedent. We're able to get that off, so that's really, really good. We're going to come in with the Politoed now, going to look to build up to the two Weather Balls. If they do get to two Body Slams, I think we should be able to survive. They do actually go for a Crunch, looking to get a debuff on us, and then they try and swap out into GOLBAT. So that's fine. We knew the GOLBAT didn't have any energy, so that gave us the opportunity to build up even more energy, as we could count in the fast moves. I think it's 5 for a Poison Fang. So we counted up to 4. We threw the Weather Ball, got rid of the GOLBAT. So now we have the Greedent left. So we've gone for the first Weather Ball. Can we get to the second? And we just get there. And I don't know if that was a CMP tie or if it was a delayed CMP tie or what, because I think the Politoed should win CMP against Greedent. So we must not have hit it before then. So GG's to my opponent. Really close battle there. Really unfortunate. Nearly pulled it back from that lost lead. And there we go. We've got the Team Killer on the lead here. So STUNFISK. So what do? We don't swap into anything else, as we're all weak to it. So we're just going to stay in, and we're just going to fake the Solar Beam, as NINETAILS does have access to Solar Beam, which would be one shot in the STUNFISK. We let the first Mud Bomb go through, as we know that we can survive it. So we build up to what could be the Solar Beam. I think we're actually 1 fire spin away from the energy, but they do shield it up anyway, so that's absolutely fine for us. We're definitely going to let the NINETAILs go down now. And unsure what we're going to come in with, probably the Politoed, as we'll be able to take them out, I think, with a Weather Ball. So what we're going to do is just use this as an opportunity to build up as much energy as we can. I think it's they got Mud Shot, yeah, so I think 5 Mud Shots to a discharge. So once again, we're counting up the energy. We get up to the next Weather Ball and throw that, get them out of here, and they do actually survive. So that's really bad for us. I thought that would have taken them out. STUNFISK is pretty tanky though, to be fair. So they throw a discharge, we're going to let that go through. We don't want to commit any of our shields. Luckily, we've got quite a lot of energy to go for whatever they bring in. And they're taking some time to decide, which is usually a good sign. They come in with a Kingdra, so we're just going to go for the Hail Mary Blizzard here. See if they want to shield this one up. They let it go through, so it completely one-shots the Kingdra. That's absolutely brilliant for us. And they've got a Drapion in the back. So things are looking pretty good now. And they made a massive mistake there, letting the Blizzard go through. I'm not sure why they let it go through. Maybe they thought it was just going to be an Earthquake. But anyway, we let the first Crunch go through in case they get the debuff. And we're just going to go for Poison Fangs here and try and take the Drapion out with fast move damage. So this is going to get very tight here. Drapion is obviously very spammy. And we're just lowering the defense here with the Poison Fangs. So we're going to go for another one and debuff them again. And they let it go through, which is absolutely crazy. I don't know why they let it go through. They probably could have actually got to another move there. So a really confusing play on my opponent's end. Maybe they thought the Politoed had some energy in the back, but GG's to them nonetheless. So the next one, we've got Trevenant on the lead, which is really good for us. Finally get a good lead, and then they swap into Drapion. And we decided to stay in here, which is questionable. The Drapion does have access to Aquatail, which will be doing super effective damage. I think potentially we're just building up some energy and we're going to swap out. We should have gone into the Politoed, as we don't want to see the Trevenant with the Politoed. But we're being really, really slow on our swaps here. So we do finally go into the Politoed, so it's a bit of a questionable delay. You never want to do that. You want to get the swap out, because now they're going to be able to come back in with a Trevenant and probably get up to a Seed Bomb. I think what we're going to try and do is just build up as much energy as we can, just so if the Trevenant does come back in, we can threaten them with a Blizzard. So we go for the Weather Ball and they shield that up, which is fine. We get some absolutely terrible lag, which is nothing new. And then they make a swap into Trevenant. So that absolutely cost us the lag there. We were hitting the move and it obviously wasn't going through. And then all of a sudden the Trevenant comes in after we've been hitting the Weather Ball for ages. So terrible lag. It's an absolute shambles at the minute. sort your game out, Niantic, honestly. So anyway, they didn't take the bait, and we come in now quickly with the Ninetales. We made a quick swap. So we used the switch timer advantage there. We were able to quickly swap in, and they weren't able to swap out or do anything about that. So it did work out in the end. They come back in now with the Drapion, taking us out. So trade-in blows there, and then we're going to come in with the Golbat, and we're going to be able to farm them down the whole way. So expecting they're going to throw a crunch here. We're definitely going to let this go through. So we're not looking in a great spot, and they got a Probo Pass in the back, which is absolutely terrible really for the Golbat. We're going to need to get to 2 Shadow Balls here, and it's not going to be taking them out. So we go for the first one, thinking they might let this go through, knowing that we have to bait them at some point. And they do let it go through. That is really, really good. So now we're going to go for the Poison Fang bait, and they're going to have to shield this up, because obviously if it's a Shadow Ball, it's going to be taking them out. And luckily we had that Weather Ball stored on the Politoed, and we're able to quickly swap in after we've debuffed them with the Poison Fang and take them out. And then they got the Drapion in the back. Are we able to get up to Weather Ball? We aren't. We've got the Golbat in the back. Are we able to fast move them down? We do. Absolutely crazy end to a mental battle there. Some crazy swapping back and forth there with the switch timer misalignment, and that was a really fun battle. GG's to my opponent. So into the next battle, we've got a Machamp on the lead, so pretty neutral, but I'm pretty sure that the Machamp can win this. The Machamp does outpace the Ninetales to its charge moves, and I'm pretty sure it wins CMP tie as well. But we're going to shield this one up anyway, just so we can put the pressure on, and then make a quick swap into Noctowl. So really interested in there. Obviously, just looking to keep the Machamp alive and absorb some of the damage from our Ninetales on the Noctowl, which is what we're going to do. And we're pretty happy with this. We're just going to stay in here and throw the Weather Balls, because we're doing a lot of damage anyway. And then we make a swap into Politoed. Now, Politoed, of course, is really spammy, but the problem is that it's doing absolutely no fast move damage at all with the mud shots. So this is a really weird play from me. I may have just been sacking the Politoed completely, as we're definitely not going to be able to take it out with a Weather Ball, and they're definitely going to be able to take us out with a couple of Sky Attacks. So we do let the Politoed go down, putting all our faith into the Golbat. We know we've still got the Machamp in the back, which the Golbat can deal with. So we're going to come in with Ninetales now and look to farm them down the whole way. They know that we're going to do that, so they make a swap into Machamp, which is exactly what we want, because now we're going to get the last shield out of them, make an instant swap into Golbat, and we're going to be able to farm them down the whole way. As we're going to have to shield up this, because this will be a Rock Slide, which will definitely be taking out the Golbat. So we shield it up, and then we're going to see what they've got in the back here. So they're waiting out their switch time. We're expecting they're going to want to try and switch at some point. And it's a Sand Slash in the back, so that's not good at all. They're going to be getting to the Ice Punch really quickly and probably taking us out with one move. We go for the Shadow Ball, do a lot of damage, and we're looking in a terrible spot now. We've only got the Ninetales in the back, which is obviously going to be doing a lot of damage to the Sand Slash, as it's double weak to fire. They got Noctowl. They try and swap it in, and we've got 1 HP left, and we get to the Weather Ball, and we're going to be able to take the win, take out the Sand Slash. I'm not sure how it didn't have another move there. It should have just gone straight for the Ice Punch against the Ninetales, taking us out. For some reason, they made a swap into Noctowl, maybe thinking that we had a move, trying to catch, and they actually sealed the win for us. So crazy battle into the next one, and we've got another Machamp on the lead. So they make a swap out into Electrode. So really interesting. I'm not sure why either of the trainers are swapping out of the Machamp lead there, because they can beat us, but it's fine with us. They're going into the Electrode, and for some reason I always think this thing is steel and electric, so expecting us to devastate it with the Weather Balls, but they do shield up anyway. But obviously it's just a pure electric type. It's not like Magnemite. So they commit both their shields, which is absolutely fine. We do sneak in another Fire Spin. Are we going to commit our second shield and try and get to the move? We are. I think this time we are able to outpace them, so it was a good idea to use that shield just so we can win the switch alignment. But obviously whatever they're bringing now will be able to farm us down, so we know that, and we make a quick swap into Politoed. So I was expecting that they were going to come in with the Machamp, so I make a quick swap to the Politoed just so we can get up some energy, and we was about to throw the move, and they swap into a Lickitung, so that's actually fine, because now we're still going to have the Machamp aligned with the Golbat in the back, but unfortunately they will be able to take us out with a Rock Slide. So what the play is going to be here is to do a lot of damage on the Lickitung, and then we're going to have to build up enough energy on the Golbat so we can take the Machamp out. We've still got the Ninetales there that we could make a swap out into, so that may be something that we need to do. Obviously Lickitung is very, very thick, so it's going to be tight here to whether we can actually farm them down by the time they get to another Weather Ball, another Body Slam, apologies. So we swap into the Ninetales, and that's just so we can use up their energy. We weren't exactly catching, but they still had to use their energy because we were going to take them out. So now it's going to be a race to the move between the Golbat and the Machamp. Looks like we're just going to go for the Poison Fang, not risking going up to the Shadow Ball. Is this going to be enough to take them out? It isn't, but one more fast move should do it, and we're able to take them out before they get to the Rock Slide. So that was really close there. I think Machamp would have won CMP if it had got that close. So GG's to my opponent, and into the next battle against Errol some number. And then it's Machamp on the lead again. So 3 Machamps in a row, and this time this one is staying in. So you should stay in. If you're leading Shadow Machamp and you're coming up against a Shadow Ninetales, you can win the matchup, so you probably should stay in. These battles were still fairly early on, not like super early. I think they're around rank 16. So they shield up the Weather Ball, and we're both used to shield now, and we get to the second Weather Ball, but they are outpacing us. We do choose to use a shield here, and I'm hoping what we're going to do is probably get the last shield out of them, then they're going to take us out, and then we can come back in with whatever and just farm them down, just get an energy lead on whatever comes in with. With Shadow Pokemon, getting an energy lead can be really, really important just because of the amount of damage that you're doing. So even this little bit here, we're just able to get a couple of mud shots in. Not sure they didn't get to a move there, but that is absolutely perfect. And then they come in with the Pelipper. And this is an interesting switch in. It might have been because they're expecting that we do just have the Earthquake, which obviously we wouldn't be able to do any damage against them. But we do have Blizzard, so they are staying in. We were worried about a swap. But they don't swap out, and we're going to one-shot them with the Blizzard. And we don't actually one-shot them, which is really surprising to me. I would have thought that would have happened. And then we swap into Golbat, trying to farm them down, and then they actually have a Tropius in the back. So this is really good for us. We're going to be doing super effective with both the Wing Attacks and the Poison Fang, so this should be an easy GG's for us. So it's really interesting there in the end. We lost Swap, but because we had something that could actually devastate both of the back 2 Pokemon because they had double Flyer, they came in with a Pelipper because they knew at least the Blizzard would be neutral rather than double super effective against the Tropius. So they were put in a really bad spot there with the potential Blizzard being quite effective against both their back Pokemon. So they probably should have come in with the Tropius, to be honest. They would have been able to get to a Leaf Blade at least. Into the next battle anyway, we've got a Probopass on the lead, so not particularly great for the Ninetales. They will be doing super effective damage with the Rock Slide, and the Fire weakness by the Steel is actually neutralised, of course, by the Rock typing, so we're only doing neutral damage to them. So a Weather Ball will not be enough to take them out. And this is a Shadow Probopass as well, so you can see, even though it's a Shadow, Probopass is still so tanky, it can take a lot of damage. But they don't actually commit any of their shields, so they let it go down, which is really interesting, because now we're able to get up to another Weather Ball against this Toxicroak, which no doubt they will definitely shield, and we've won the swap advantage. So really questionable by my opponent to let those go through. I think they would have easily been able to farm up a lot of energy and take us out, so it was really good for us. And now we're going to come in with a Golbat, and we'll resist all the moves by the Toxicroak, so we're not going to shield this up at all, and we're just going to look to farm them down the whole way, expecting that they will probably swap out after they've thrown the Sludge Bomb, which they do, and then they come in with a Drift Blim. So this is actually really good for us. We're going to build up to a potential Shadow Ball and just go for the Poison Fang bait, and they do commit a shield, which is absolutely brilliant. And now the Politoed is pretty much just cannon fodder. We're just going to let them hit us with whatever, and we're going to be able to take the win with the Golbat, whatever happens. We're going to go for a Weather Ball anyway, just to put some pressure on. If we get to a second Weather Ball, it's definitely going to be taking them out. So they're going to have to throw their energy here, which is absolutely fine with me. We're just going to let this go down, and then we're just going to come in with the Golbat, and we're obviously just going to go for the nothing. We're actually just going to farm them down the whole way. Shadow Golbat absolutely munching its way through the Ghost Balloon and the Poison Frog there and taking the win. So a really good battle, enjoyed that one. And we go into the next one, and we've got a Pidgeot on the lead, so a neutral matchup here. Not sure if we're going to build up to the Overheat, because they're probably going to get to a Feather Dance. More than likely they're going to throw a Feather Dance and debuff us, so we're going to go for the Weather Ball early, do a lot of damage while we can. Pidgeot isn't actually that tanky at all. You can see already we've got them down into the red with just a Weather Ball and the accumulated fast move damage. So they did throw the Feather Dance and lower our attack, so we made a quick swap into Golbat so we could quickly farm them down and save some energy on that. And then they bring in a Poliwrath, so really, really interesting. We're going to be doing super effective with the Wing Attacks and obviously lowering their defense with the Poison Fang. They shield up the first Poison Fang, which is questionable, and now they throw a move, and we don't actually shield it up, which is really weird, because we know they must be weak to Golbat, otherwise they wouldn't have brought in the Fighting type. So we go for another Poison Fang, and they don't shield that one up, and then they bring in a Trevenant, so it explains why they come in with the Poliwrath against the Golbat. Luckily, we do have some health and some energy on the Ninetales, so we're going to be able to threaten them. They go for a move, and unfortunately, it's a Seed Bomb bait, so a really bad call from us. But we go for the Weather Ball anyway. We undercharge just in case they let it go through. It's definitely going to take them out, I think, anyway. And then see if we can get to the next Weather Ball. But unfortunately, they do get to a move, so that's not good for us at all. But luckily, it is just a Seed Bomb, so we're able to survive that. And we're going to be taking them out with the Weather Ball now, and then they're going to have the Poliwrath in the back. So luckily, we've got the Politoed. So we bring it in, and luckily, I don't think a Dynamic Punch is going to be enough to take us out. So we're going to go straight for the Weather Ball here, and this should be taking out the Poliwrath. And we are able to seal the win there. So the Politoed just coming in to sweep up the end, all the work put in by the Ninetales and the Shadow Golbat. So yeah, I would just sweep some teams with just 2 of these Pokemon, but then other times you can just get absolutely destroyed. So I did have mixed success, but overall I think I went positive with this team, even though it's obviously got a glaring weakness in the current meta. So to start this battle, we had the Pelipper against the Ninetales, which is obviously a very bad lead, so we went straight into our Golbat, and they chose to stay in, which is fine. So they threw the Weather Ball, which we let go through, and now we were able to get up to 2 Poison Fangs. So they must have been over farming there, and they're probably going to swap out, I would have thought. They do throw another Weather Ball, which we're going to shield up this time. Seeing if we can farm them down, as we have debuffed them twice. We're just able to farm them down, so that's really good. Interesting that they didn't swap out of the Pelipper to keep that against the Ninetales, so assuming they do have another answer for Ninetales in the back. They're bringing the Drapion, and we're just going to go for the Poison Fangs and lower the defense there, as obviously the Shadow Ball will be resisted as they're part dark. They go for a Fell Stinger, which isn't quite enough to take us out, so we're able to get to another Poison Fang and debuff them again. Thinking that this might actually be their second answer to Ninetales, as it would have Aqua Tail, but actually there's a Politoed in the back, so that's fine. Now they've made that quick swap into Politoed, we know we definitely need to come in with the Politoed against it, as it's going to be absolutely destroying us with the Weather Ball. And they go for a Blizzard, which is crazy. I do not understand why they went for a Blizzard. You should definitely be going for the Weather Ball in this situation. They commit their last shield, which is absolutely fine. So neither of us have Earthquake here, which is the recommended move, which is a legacy move. So luckily what we're able to do here is just get up to enough Weather Balls just to take them out, making sure we don't let any mud shots through. Thinking they must be out of Weather Ball now as well, so they do throw their energy, and we're going to shield this up as we need to take the Politoed out with our own Politoed, as we've got the Ninetales left in the back. But they make a quick swap into Drapion, which is absolutely fine, and we're going to be able to do a lot of damage with the Weather Ball, and then their own Politoed doesn't have a lot of health left anyway, so we're just going to come in with the Ninetales, and we're just going to be able to Fire Spin down the Water type, which is going to be quite funny. The Weather Ball's not going to be enough to take us out, even though this is a Shadow Politoed. So able to take another win there with a lost lead. Shadow Golbat is a really great swap, especially in this meta. If they don't have a good answer to it, or they're a little bit slow to swap out, it can easily win you the switch advantage. I really enjoy using it, it's one of my favourites. So into the next battle, we've got a Lapras in the lead. So a bit of a mixed one here. Obviously they would be doing a not very effective usually with the Ice Shard, but this is actually a Water Gun variant. So we're going to make a swap out into the Politoed, and the reason for this is obviously we don't want to go straight into the Golbat, as the Golbat's probably the better answer for the Lapras in this scenario, considering it doesn't have Ice Shard. So we went into the Politoed, and at the very least what we can do here is bait them with a potential Earthquake, which we don't have, and that's what we did do. We built up to what would have been an Earthquake, and we threw the Weather Ball, and luckily they did shield it up. So we got a shield out of them, so that's not too bad for us at all. And we're just going to keep going for Weather Balls here. As we're getting stabbed with this, it's going to be doing a lot more damage to them than just throwing a Blizzard. And it's going to be annoying them as we just spam them over and over again with a not very effective move. And we're just running down the switch timer as well. So we could potentially swap out. Seeing if we want to shield this up, worried that it could be another potential Skull Bash, so we do actually shield it up, and we're building up some more energy. Wondering what we're going to do here. We do actually make a swap into Golbat, as we know we can get a little bit ahead on energy, and they do have the massive core breaker to us, the whole team breaker, the Unova STUNFISK, but we do have quite a few Pokemon there anyway. So we go for the Poison Fang bait. They don't take the bait, which is absolutely terrible. If we'd have just gone for the Shadow Ball there, obviously we'd have done a ton of damage, and we would have been in a much better spot. So it doesn't matter, we're going to go for the Shadow Ball now anyway, expecting them to shield it up, and then let it go through, and we do so much damage. It's absolutely perfect for us, because obviously we do not want this thing to be going up against any of our other Pokemon. We come in with a Politoed, because we know we've got Weather Ball stored, and we're going to be able to take this out straight away, and they let it go down. What do they have in the back? They actually have a Machamp in the back. So this is going to be quite tight here. We go for the Weather Ball. Luckily they shield it up, so that's really, really good for us. We're going to be able to get to a Weather Ball, and this probably won't be able to take them out, but it will be putting them quite low, and they're going to have to use their energy here just to get rid of the Ninetales. So we should be able to close this out, hopefully. I think we've just got a little bit of energy left on the Politoed. Can we mud shot them down? They've got something left in the back though. It's still the Lapras, and we're not able to get to the Weather Ball. They had a Surf stored, so it's absolutely heartbreaking. That was so close. We were one mud shot away from getting to the Weather Ball. So yeah, really great match, and well played to my opponent there. That was a good one. So into the last battle of the video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. It's been really fun running this Triple Shadow team. So a really great lead for us with the Trevenant. So they make a swap into Noctowl, so we're going to go straight into the Politoed, and we'll be able to survive a Sky Attack easy, and then we can threaten them with a potential Blizzard. So we're building up to the Blizzard, and then we go for the Weather Ball bait. So we're obviously hoping they're going to shield this one up, and they do commit a shield, which is really, really great for us now. So now we're just going to build straight up to a Blizzard ourselves, and we're throwing it straight away before they can get to another Sky Attack. That way they're pressured to let this go through, because they didn't want to go 2 shields down. So that's brilliant for us. We maintained the switch alignment, and we're going to be able to bring in the NINETAILS against the Trevenant. They were able to farm us down a little bit, so they've got some energy ready to go. So we're going to commit a shield here, just in case it is a Shadow Ball, which it is. It would have done a lot of damage, and then they make a swap into Greninja. So we're going to go straight for the overheat here, see if they want to shield this up. Greninja's very squishy. Boom! Absolutely destroying the Greninja. We make a quick swap into Golbat, and then they back out, which I don't blame them at all. So what a way to end the video there. The Shadow Ninetales almost one-shot in a water type. You'll love to see it. So yeah, I don't recommend this team that I've used, but it was a lot of fun, and I really hope you enjoyed the battles if you watched the video all the way through. A like and a comment would be really appreciated, and please subscribe for some more spicy battles. I've got a bit shiny dry lately. The only thing I've been able to show is this Charmander, which obviously I've got a billion of. So thanks a lot for that, Niantic. So once again, thank you so much for checking out the video. Stay angry, trainers.